The tablet on the Polestar Model 2 is mounted in portrait mode, and you have a map on the screen in front of you. The screen in front of you has your speed, your range. This layout works brilliantly, and I did not think having the tablet in portrait mode would make it as big of a difference as it does, but it really does. So we put the car in park by pushing a button, similar to on the Hyundai. The tablet has all of your apps, audio, maps, Apple CarPlay. You have all of your configuration here. The layout is not as thorough as it was on the Tesla Model 3, but it is a lot easier to work with. Everything you need is in here. You can adjust the steering, and you have sport mode, and you have creep, one pedal driving, you have standard, low, and off. It works best in standard. And the standard is actually very aggressive. Much more so than you would think when you compare it to the Tesla Model 3, and I like that. That is a major improvement. The driving assistance, the adaptive cruise control works phenomenally, but the steering assistant is not as good as it has been in, say, the Hyundai or in the Tesla Model 3. This car has a huge battery, but it does not seem to be as efficient on energy as the Hyundai Kona was. So even if it has a big battery, it does not seem to give the same level of range that you would get. But it is better than the Kona or the Leaf. It is more along the lines of the long-range Tesla Model 3, but that is due to the huge battery, not due to efficiency. So your electric bill would be higher on here, but it does have the range if that's what you need. And you can adjust a lot within this interface, and you do have all of the apps, Google Assistant. You do have cameras. This works very well to be able to get in and out of parking spaces. You can see I am not parked next to anybody, but it works very well, and it works in traffic to show you if you need to change lanes. But having this PlugShare here, this is a major asset, because PlugShare is crowdsourced, and it lets users tell you whether a charging station works, how well it works, and so forth. So you can plan your trip accordingly. Now all of these are Android apps. I mean, this is working on Android, is what it is. So, and the map here, having the ability to have your map right in front of you while you have other apps on here, or while you adjust, and you've got an actual knob for your audio. So you can have all of your things on here while you're looking at the map. So this right here makes it a major improvement over the others, but I would like to either have an e-pedal button like the Nissan Leaf had, or have the paddles on the steering wheel to adjust the regenerative braking like the Hyundai Kona did, and this has neither. driving is actually going up a little bit, which is atypical. They usually go down, but if it stabilizes out at 81, that's pretty good. It's not great. I've done better, but that's pretty good. So while I charge, and it is now up to 84 kilowatts charging speed, the interior is decent. It's actually very nice. Aesthetically, it is pleasing. The tablet computer has everything you need in it. If you want to make changes to the car, the one pedal driving, the steering wheel, all the driving assistance features, and they work pretty well. It charges reasonably fast. I mean, everything you need is in here. Like with the Tesla, there's a power off right there. And it has USB-C, and only USB-C, and nothing else. No cigarette lighter adapter, and a lot of things do plug into cigarette lighters. And it has two USB-C for the front and two for the back. It does have a knob here for audio, and it does have climate control buttons. It's a defroster. You can change the radio, but that's about all it has in terms of physical controls. The steering wheel has the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control, and the steering assistant. And it works very well. The steering does not work as well as the adaptive cruise control, but it's good enough. And it does have the shifter here for reverse, neutral, and drive, but for park there's a button. But it's relatively Spartan, but having that screen there is such a benefit over the Tesla Model 3, because it leaves the tablet, and having it portrait mode just makes everything easier. But having that screen there, and you can have a map on that screen while you have something else on the tablet, is a major benefit. The car is charging right now. And we can sit here and watch YouTube or listen to music while we do. And in the back seat, there is two USB-C outlets in what you would think logically looks like a cigarette lighter adapter, but it is not a 12-volt power like for a cigarette lighter. It's just USB-C. When you select the location in Google Maps, the car tells you what your charge will be when you get there, which is very useful. One of the perks of an electric car is you get to park right up front at stores and charge your car for free while you're shopping. only works in drive. But see, if I push this button, regenerative braking goes away. The paddles only change the amount of regenerative braking in drive. So we are on none. So I will increase it 1, 2, 3, and then reduce it 1, 2, 3. The car has 3 drive modes. There is a drive mode button on the console. This is Eco. I'm switching to normal. And this is Sport, which is of course red. Electric car batteries charge faster when they are lower, and when the charge gets closer to full, they slow down, which is why this car is saying an hour and a half to full charge, but only 30 minutes to 80% charge. So from a speed point of view, it makes much more sense to charge the car to 80% than full. The amount of luggage space in the back is not huge, but it basically is a small trunk. Anything that you put back here will be covered and out of sight behind the back seat. It's not a lot of space, but depending on your purposes, it may be sufficient. And underneath the floor is the charging cord, and that's about it. Equipped with a map. Actually, this whole touchscreen interface here works very well. It has satellite radio. It has all the basic functions that you would want. If you go through the setup here, the vehicle, okay, so you have all the basic settings that you need. The Eco, Normal, and Sport, which there's a button here that says Drive Mode that does the same thing. And really, you have buttons down here to do all of these things as well. So you don't need all of this in the menu, but it does give you another way of doing that. but the Google and Apple links give you a lot more features in CarPlay. Apparently, you have to have a subscription to have valet mode. So, there's that. One nice feature here, if you're driving by yourself, is that there is a driver-only option on the controls here for the climate system, so that it only blows out of the left-hand side vent and not the right. So no air for a passenger who is not there. The ergonomics of the Nissan Leaf are actually very good. The display here has a map, and then of course controls for music. It will link to your phone, all the basic things that most cars have nowadays, but the layout of the system is actually very simple. It even shows you where the charging stations are so that you can get another charge. Furthermore, the instrument panel gives you all pertinent information in terms of your direction, how much charge you have instead of a fuel gauge, how far you can go, and all your controls for your e-pedal. Right here, turn it off, turn it on, eco mode, and the shifter to move into reverse or drive. As you can see, reverse is forward, drive is rear. It's actually a very good layout. You also have all your basic controls on the steering wheel. Most cars do nowadays, but the way this one is set up is very easy. Let's see if we need a charge. It shows us exactly where the charging stations are. Sign does not appear to be working, but it made a beep. And it is charging. You can tell from the light. I have been at this Tesla supercharger for only a few minutes, and I have already seen the battery increase very quickly. This works so much better than the overnight charging with the standard electrical outlet. If you own a Tesla, I guess this is how you have to do it. If it takes this long to charge an electric car using a standard electrical outlet, it is not practical to recharge the car overnight off of the wall outlet unless you use very little charge during the day. start a Tesla is put your key down and hit the brake pedal. The car is ready to go. There's no actual engine start. The amount of storage space available in a Tesla Model 3's trunk is very good. More than sufficient. And in addition, there is a small amount of space available in the front trunk, but it is not nearly as substantial as this. This is very big for its size. There is even more room than you see at first glance in the Tesla's trunk, because there is a very large storage compartment underneath the trunk. The Tesla supercharger in Giddings obviously charges at a much higher rate than the previous ones I had used. This is insane. I'm getting over 500 miles of range for every hour I charge. This is awesome. This is far better than anywhere I've previously charged. 125 kilowatts. The car says ready to charge and is not charging. But based on the fact that the other electric cars plugged in here are also not charging, I'm suspicious that this is the charging station and not the car itself. And after all of that, saying the car was ready to charge but wouldn't charge, it is actually charging. It has a much longer charge window if you use a free charger, like the Volta here. EV charging has arrived, and it is free and you get what you pay for because it is not as fast. Well, I have already, in a matter of under 15 minutes, gotten as much charge as I got in 12 hours out of the wall outlet. These superchargers absolutely are the way to go. Even the control to lock the doors is on the touch screen. That locks the doors, that unlocks them. It took 18% of a charge to go a distance of about 36 miles from Spring to Friendswood. So that works out to about 200 miles.